Islam Dwayne Bafazé, Islam. It is July the 21st, 2019, Islam. What I'm about to do, say Islam, Imani.
Islam.
Okay, it's Sunday. What I'm about to do is demonstrate,
What's the date?
July the 21st, 2019. What I'm about to do is demonstrate stretching techniques that I learned from another more, Selena Cordova-Ill. So this is what I do a lot of times, Dwayne. They help me keep my spine aligned. And just so you see, just so you know, this is the wonderful jasmine. No, this is the basil plant, succinct plant, my aloe vera, and this is jasmine. Getting a wonderful sun. So what I'm going to start to do is do my stretching. So the stretching starts off this way. Then this way. Well, I'm going to have to get you to hold it for me while I give testimony too. And then you should go this way again. And that's my first time doing it this morning. So as you can see, I'm stiff. First time actually in 2 days because I've been resting. So that's what I do. Now, Imani, come on. I want you to, 1 second. Imani and I, so I still drink my coffee, and this is the almond milk. And he brought some, we got this from the food pantry, this cake. So what I'm about to do now, Dwayne, is give testimony and read before I give testimony. And I think it's important for me to do so. So, Dwayne, starting off, and this is in correlation, the stretching is in correlation to maintaining mental balance and mental, spiritual balance, and mental and spiritual health. So, straighten up but haven't cleaned up. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is start off by giving a quick testimony on how I do this. Because I know we are among unclean spirits that have the ability to invade your space. Whether you're in a room from a hotel, motel, you live in a house, or you live in an apartment. And not only the external space, but they can invade your mental space as well and cause you to have thoughts that are not balanced. If allowed, especially if you're unaware that you're among these unclean spirits. And so these are definitely acts of terrorism. So before I get started, I want to read what I looked up in reference to law, because Dwayne, Bey, there is in reference to jurisdiction and law is spiritual and physical. So you have acts of terrorism that are done where you see a camera showing harmful things being done, whether it's a form of murder, rape, or other molestation. Hold on, let me turn this around. Imani, do you know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland?
No.
Okay, do you reject the science of telepathy?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, me too. I don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland, and we do, and as natural beings implementing natural law, it's good to say that, because we are demonstrating and practitioners of natural law, which includes the Constitution of 1787, Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, all of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, and the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. And in that, and demonstrating ourselves to be practitioners of natural law, and in the process of reclaiming our actual freedom, it is important to state these things, because those that are not in the constitutional fold, or have, because we have taken an oath and affirmed to do so, and by going through different steps, such as reclaiming our nationality as Moorish American. So those who have not done this are vulnerable to be used as spiritual terrorists on the spiritual and mental plane, and on the physical plane. That's what I'm correlating. And I'm correlating this to your Balance and Transformation podcast, Dwayne, or SoundCloud podcast. That number 2 and number 4. Okay, so what I did was, because I gave you an example of different things I experienced so far, Dwayne, and so some of the things I noticed in reference with spirituality and being among unclean spirits. And so I remember in your podcast you looked up, and Imani, please make sure it's focused, that you gave a definition of spirit according to your dictionary, and I too looked up the word spirit. It says, let's see, it says, according to Merriam Dictionary, spirit is a supernatural being or essence, such as, it says supernatural being or essence. It says also an animating or vital principle held to give life to physical organism. And then it also says, in reference to the definition of spirit, it says a mental disposition characterized by firmness or assertiveness, denied the change with spirit. So, and also it says, and this is another definition under the word spirit in Merriam Dictionary. It says a person having a character or disposition of a specified nature. Okay. Also, so in that, in reference to spirit and spirituality, I know we are among unclean spirits who are able to attack genitals in a sexual and sexual, or just in a different manner. They just attack the genitals. So what is the purpose of these spirits doing this, these unclean spirits? And understanding, Dwayne Bey, that we are in prophecy, and we are natural beings in prophetic times, I think it's important to demonstrate. For me, I'm relearning how to demonstrate and connect the dots of physical law and spiritual law, because it is important. Because spirits in many cases cannot be seen with the fleshy eye. So when these unclean spirits attack, whether sending sharp pains, manipulating dreams while you're sleeping, to have sex with your child, have sex with you, or actually they're attacking your genitals while you're sleeping, so your genitals can release and have an orgasm while they're probably spiritually and physically having an orgasm somewhere. With, you know, literally they're literally enjoying themselves somewhere. These are unclean demonic spirits, but you're sleeping because you're tired. But they're using a form of terrorism, acts of terrorism, through spirit, through the science of telepathy, to invade, and they are a spirit. This is unclean spirit, and this correlates to terror. So I looked up the word terror in Black's Law Dictionary. The word terror means to alarm, fright, dread, to dread, the state of mind induced by the apprehension of hurt for some hostile or threatening event of manifestation. Money, is it still?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, good. Fear caused by the appearance of danger. Okay, so if you are sleeping and your genitals are being attacked, which is a spiritual rape, molestation, that is terror, and if you put the ISM at the end of terror, which terrorism, it is an act of terrorism. So what would be the reason for this? And who would be using them to do this? And so because many times unclean spirits speak the word paid and try to connect the spirit of bondage with that, the spirit of bondage. So for instance, if I'm out, I'm earning money, or I'm walking down the street, or or even resting, trying to study, because Imani and I are in the process of alerting different government agencies of our change in status now. We've already reclaimed our nationality with Moorish American National Republic. We've been naturalized to uphold the Constitution 1787, 13th Amendment, 20 sections, Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, these divine laws of freedom, which demonstrates a spiritual and physical law. So, and now we as Moorish Americans, Hebrew Muslims, are in the process of alerting different government agencies of our change in status. So what is the reason for a spirit who we don't know invading our physical area, which is a room at a hotel, and abusing the science of telepathy to invade the mental space? Because as you know, Arrington-Bey, we don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland. No, mentally have we implied to want to know someone personally. So what is the purpose? Now, so if they're using the word paid, Arrington-Bey, and they are connecting as they attack my genitals or invading Imani's mental space while he's sleeping, these are acts of terrorism. Then who are using them to do this? And so what I connect is, that is a form of weaponry. Okay, because that is a weapon. So if you are not in the constitutional fold, and you are here on this landmass, and you are walking around, you are under another jurisdiction. Because being in the constitutional fold, the U.S.A. Constitution placed you in a jurisdiction. Also, as Prophet Noble Drew Ali state, or I've heard more state many times, having the temple, according to, excuse me, our authority, when he went, our authority, how that connecting religion to jurisdiction for the Moorish Science Temple, and the reason why Prophet Noble Drew Ali did this. So what I'm about to do is read the definition for weapon according to Black's Law Dictionary, because that's exactly what's going on. These unclean spirits are being used as weapons. it says an instrument of offensive or defensive combat, or anything used or designed to be used in destroying, defeating, or injuring an enemy. If you yourself have not upheld or affirmed to uphold the Constitution or laws of freedom, and you constantly speak words paid bondage, then that which is speaking of freedom or trying to demonstrate a natural law of freedom, which is connected to the spirit of Mother Earth and the universe, it will be seen as your enemy, because that is the exact opposite of what you're demonstrating, Islam. So according to the word weapon, the definition of weapon, Black's Law Dictionary, and it says an instrument of offensive or defensive combat. So it's saying it's a form of combat, or anything used or designed to be used in destroying, defeating, or injuring an enemy. Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Okay? So what are they injuring when these unclean spirits attack the genitals, send sharp pains to your cranium, your temporal, your internal organs? First, they're trying to, if allowed, injure your body, the physical body. Not only that, on a spiritual level, if they're invading your mind, sending thoughts that cause you to be imbalanced mentally, where you make wrong financial decisions or unhealthy financial decisions, if you become anguished and you behave outside of yourself as a natural being, that is mental health. I mean, that is definitely a form of attacking your mental health. And as you know, according to many statistics, the United States is not even considered civilized in reference to health. Physical health is connected to mental health. So if the United States, in many statistics, according to other nations on the earth, is in one of the last that in reference to physical health, like some statistics has it 35, number 35 in red, then what does that say? And so when these unclean spirits are attacking the anus, because I told you I've given testimony as those, like for instance at Burger King, as I was earning money, I gave a testimony. I'm not saying that the person that said this did this to me. I'm not. But I'm giving a testimony according to Revelations chapter 12, verses 11 and 12 of the Holy Bible, which the Holy Bible was made public law in this landmass. So as this male who stated that he was in the Marines spoke, he looked to be African American, but I don't know if he claimed a nationality. I started to feel sharp pains in my anus. And then it happened again when another black male, if he hasn't claimed a nationality, I don't know, he said Marines. Well, as I was on using my tablet on break at Burger King, I'm earning money as a Hebrew Muslim. And as soon as he said Marines, again, he was talking to someone. I'm not saying he did this. I'm giving testimony to him. As soon as he said Marines, as he was talking to other regulars at the table, once again, I started to feel sharp pains. Like definitely these were attacks of my anus. So why would these spirits that are obviously being used as a weapon send sharp pains to my anus, unless they are trying to cause harm and definitely destroy? Because if I'm earning money and I'm trying to keep a balanced mind, and we are in the process of correcting our status, alerting different government agencies of our change in status, which help us demonstrate a natural law as natural beings. And if this is happening, this could definitely contribute to destroying a thought process of freedom, because the Constitution is an instrument, or organic instrument, that demonstrates a form of the spirit freedom. The proclamations demonstrates a spirit of freedom. Abraham Lincoln's 13th Amendment with 20 sections, section 19 states everyone is free. So what is going on here? That's what I'm saying. It's not even saying what is going on. It's obviously what's going on. I'm stating what's going on. I'm giving testimony. Now, I'm not saying once again that the guy did this, Dwayne Bey. I'm not, and I'm going to lower my energy. But what I'm saying is that's what I experienced. So spirits are all over, are walking around outside, all over the restaurant at Burger King, or walking on the sidewalks. But this is what I experienced. It also correlates to a time where I remember I was standing next to the manager, Miss Phyllis, and at the time I didn't know how to articulate what I was experiencing, Dwayne, because once again, learning about spirituality, mental, my mind, it is you know, I have to be cautious about it, because many people, I think many Hebrew Muslims, are not able to articulate what they experience, and without them feeling fearful that someone would try to call them crazy or insane, and by them or trying to definitely diagnose them as being crazy or insane, and so which caused them to be used as a body that is receiving medicine or medical care from other institutions that are not here to help the healing of the spirit of Mother Earth and the universe, or in the population. So you have another body who is possibly what's the word, overdosed in different forms of medicine to maintain a passive or create a form of slavery, because they didn't know how to articulate what they was experiencing spiritually and mentally. So that's what I'm trying to do with caution right now. So one time I was working at sitting next to a manager, Miss Phyllis. She's a black female manager, and once again, I'm not accusing her, I'm just giving you what I experienced. And like many times, managers are wiping stuff down. I was at the fry station, so here I am, and she's literally right here. And and I heard her breathing sort of hard. And I remember, because after this happened, I did a testimony, but I did it in a different way while I was on the phone, spirit, because I didn't know how to articulate. So I had to do it that way, where I was communicating spirit, so that I could try to understand. I had understanding of what I experienced. So while she was standing next to me, she was breathing hard, like, and all of a sudden I started to feel my genitals. And it's not that she was just breathing. Maybe she was breathing hard because she's tired, because we're working hard. Maybe she's wiping something, and she started to wipe stuff down slowly because she's trying to clean the crumbs up. You know, that is her her disposition. But I'm giving you a testimony of what I experienced. So as this was happening, I noticed that my genitals were being attacked in a sexual manner, and there were customers there. And this is dealing with spirit. Then I looked behind me, because I turned behind me, and there was this black male with the word Navy on his shirt. He comes into Burger King quite often. He had on shades, and he drives the bus for the Navy Academy, which I was just told maybe 4 or 5 months ago that it's 2 miles behind Burger King, which I had no idea that Naval Academy was that close behind Burger King. But he was just, and I looked behind me, he was just staring at me. But my genitals were being attacked in a sexual manner, literally, like, so uncomfortable, even with my anus being attacked in a sexual manner. And I felt so, because I never had anything like that done done before. So you know, once again, there were customers there. And so this is definitely a form of rape spiritually and molestation spiritually. So I don't know who was doing it. I have no idea. And unless she has the science of telepathy, which I don't know if she do or not, or the guy that had the Navy uniform, that I see drive the Navy bus. They have a bus of the academy, and I see him drive it quite a bit. Has the science of telepathy. How would they know it's going on? But this is what I experience constantly. Many times, that was definitely a act of terrorism. And whatever that was doing it, whatever spirit was used as a weapon to do it, Islam. And how that made me feel was I kept my disposition, but I am a Hebrew Muslim who is earning money in the public, and I'm in front of other customers and guests, and I'm trying to demonstrate myself as a respectful woman, Moorish American, earning money as I correct my status and continue to let different government agencies of my change in status because of my ancestral name of Bey. So it made me feel definitely it's like watching someone being raped. How would that person feel after they were raped and then go out in the public and someone saying we F-U-C-K-U, ha ha ha? That's exactly how it made me feel. In that, if you can think of humiliation, sadness. And I'm not saying, once again, that Miss Phyllis did this spiritually or the guy, because I don't know. It's just like when I thought I heard Diamond speak the word he F-U-C-K-U. I don't know if she did or not, but I did try to talk to her because she was like, mumbled it, she was upset and she seemed to be irritated. I don't know if she was talking to someone. I don't know why she was irritated. I still don't know why she gets irritated sometimes. So I'm going to leave it at that. So what I'm going to continue to do is demonstrate spirituality the way Arrington-Bey and what I experienced. So that was one odd situation that I experienced, and turning around as a spirit, seeing another spirit behind me on a physical plane having the word Navy, which is connected to the military. Then I remember when I first came to Annapolis, I was working and earning money, and this guy, black male, came into Burger King. This was in 2016. I could be off. Maybe 2 months after working earning money at Burger King, he came into Burger King. He had sweating profusely. He had the Army emblem on the back of his truck, and he kept singing loud for, I would say, approximately 10 minutes. He was sweating a lot, singing how we gonna get this soul. And he was a black male. I don't know if he claimed a nationality, and it's like he was literally, and this is dealing with spirituality in reference, correlation to your podcast, your SoundCloud #2, possession. Because he definitely looked, I'm not saying he was possessed, but if I was a person dealing with spirituality and I see a guy constantly walking around a building, okay, singing the same thing over and over again, sweating profusely, I would be like, what is wrong with him mentally? Now, I'm not once again saying that this guy is possessed, but now in reference to your podcast, Dwayne Arrington-Bey, I'm connecting the dots to spirituality. And he was singing loud, we're going to get this soul. How we going to get this soul? And a lot of times, when he was singing, I was like, no one corrected him. No manager stepped to him and said anything. Nobody seemed surprised. It looked like I was the only one surprised to see or looked at him in an odd manner. But everyone else was just going about their business or acting like they don't see him doing this. So, I connect this once again to your podcast #2 in reference to spirit possession, and your podcast #4, spirit, because I don't know if he was mentally balanced, but I've never seen anything like that before. Another situation happened where I was now this guy, I'm not saying that he did anything out of the ordinary. Now, I told the guy that I just spoke with, he had the Army emblem on the back of his truck. The guy that was walking around singing loud, and like a ritual, that how they gonna get a soul. Another situation, this black male, he came in and he was upset about his bacon, egg, cheese croissant, and he kept saying it was flat. Now, I give him testimony because, he returned it, he returned the sandwich twice. I never heard anyone give a description of a bacon, egg, cheese croissant being flat. But the third time, I remember I told Thomas, the black male manager, he went back there to fix it, or correct it. and make it himself. But he was upset, and the guy that returned the bacon, egg, cheese croissant those a few times, and he's a black male about this tall. Most of the black males that come in there are really tall that I give testimony about, and big. He was tall, and he was upset. I mean, he was complaining loud. So, and it was early in the morning. And so after Mr. Thomas took over and decided to make the bacon, egg, cheese croissant, I walked approximately, like this, because I was in front of him, but then I said, because he was definitely upset following me. I walked approximately 10 to 15 steps away from him and started doing something else. He comes and walked in front of me, and he's looking at me, or looking down like this in front, because there's a counter here. He's standing across, and he just looking down like this, and he's not mumbles. He says it in a low voice. Is there anything I can get for free? Like that. And I was like, I turned around and walked away, because once again, we're among different spirits. I didn't know if the man was balanced or imbalanced. I didn't know what mentally he was just upset and speaking loud about he was upset about his croissant. I didn't know if he just what kind of state of mind he had. So because I just had to call the cops about another black male following me to work, and actually getting out of his car, and I had to do a report about the police, towards call Annapolis police about that black male. I was skeptical and I was worried. So I looked at his license plate, so I thought possibly this, maybe I need to tell the police about this male too. And he had the emblem on his license plate, and that was odd. I didn't know about this emblem before. I go back to my room after I get off work, and I pull up that emblem as much as I could and see what it was, and I found the exact same emblem, because I started to see another car, but this was a Pelskin that also had the emblem on it. Pelskins with the emblem on it, and it said Navy. These are Navy veterans. So I was surprised, because I was like, this doesn't seem like a behavior that a Navy veteran would demonstrate, asking to have something for free, after he just complained about the bacon, egg, cheese croissant to a cashier, a woman, and he seemed upset. It seemed like, I was like, this does not seem like a demonstration of someone that was in the military, that's overseas, that possibly have gone overseas and demonstrating themselves as a military officer that I saw, or that we as Moorish Americans have been encouraged to respect. And we are encouraged to respect the Army, the Navy, that have taken an oath or affirmed to uphold laws of freedom, which includes the United States Constitution, U.S.A. Constitution 1787, Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, and the 13th Amendment 20 sections. So I was very skeptical, and I thought that was odd. So these are a few examples I've experienced. And so once again, many times earning money at Burger King, military men and women come into Burger King representing or implying to represent the Army, the Navy, and also now the Marines. Most of the people that come in there are the pale skin, the Negro, Black, or African American, if they haven't claimed a nationality, and those that speak Spanish speaking. So it just makes me wonder about in correlation how many soldiers have taken an oath or affirmed to uphold these divine laws of freedom, because that is important to, especially being on this landmass. And as Moorish Americans, we are under laws that encourage us to not commit crimes of harm, acts of terrorism, such as what is Islam by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We are under divine laws that encourage us to maintain a form of liberty and freedom, a state of liberty and freedom mentally, which demonstrates physically. So it makes me wonder what is going on with some of these men that have demonstrated or implied to be connected to the Army and the Navy. That's it. And so that is my testimony. Also, I'm getting back to my definitions. So if these acts of terrorism, I've given you many times experiences, Dwayne Bey, of these men, and not these, or spirits speaking. Spirits are able to invade this room, and sometimes they say husband, male and female, paid. One time someone tried to open the door forcefully as I had a towel wrapped around me. I was going to take a shower. So what is the reason for them doing this? What is the purpose of them doing this if they are in the constitutional fold? And that is U.S. a Constitution of 1787, and have uphold these proclamations and the 13th Amendment 20 sections. What is the purpose of them doing this if they are in the constitutional fold? Because those laws, that instrument is a demonstration of freedom, the spirit of freedom. So if they are not in the constitutional fold, it would be considered usurpation, a usurpation. So I looked up the word usurpation, and it says, according to Black's Law Dictionary, the unlawful assumption of the use of property which belongs to another, and interruption of the disturbing a man in his right and possession. Also, it says the definition of a usurpation is for which writ of prohibition may be granted involves attempted exercise of power not possessed by inferior officer. So, and then also it says the unlawful seizure or assumption of sovereign power, the assumption of a government or supreme power by force or illegally in derogation of the Constitution and of the rights of the lawful ruler. So once again, when a spirit is attacking mentally, physically, and mentally, in which that connects to physical, why are they doing it? According to the Holy Quran, it says, Dwayne Bey, in Surah 2, verse 208, it says, O you who believe, enter into complete peace and follow not the footstep of the devil. Surely he is your open enemy. So when spirits behave, Dwayne Bey, and this is in connection to, once again, your podcast 2 and 4, behave in a manner of harm, and the authority is Allah. Allah is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So that which is using them, or they are behaving or using themselves as a weapon, is an enemy. Because it says, once again, the definition of weapon: an instrument of offensive or defensive combat, or anything used or designed to be used in destroying, defeating, or injuring an enemy. If these spirits are in the constitutional fold and behaving that way, then they're going against constitutional law, and they're going against the laws, the divine laws that we are under, which consist of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. If they're not in the constitutional fold, then they, once again, they are demonstrating to go against, or the enemy of which of the laws that this country was built on, many have bled for. And that consists of the Constitution of 1787, Abraham Lincoln's Proclamation, and the 13th Amendment 20 sections. So they are definitely enemies of that which is divine, of that which not just exists here on this landmass, but the earth and the universe is made of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And so that is my correlation today. And I was showing you the stretches because it's important when how I usually get through a lot of these spiritual experiences is through meditation, which is correlating to your podcast 2, exercising, which correlates to podcast 3, and eating food, which we are not perfect, but we are transforming. Transitioning to a vegan vegetarian diet, which correlates to the chemistry of our bodies. It correlates to the chemistry of our bodies. And so, once again, I'm Dwayne Baffour-Bey. I'm not accusing anyone because I don't know. We don't have the science of telepathy. We don't know who is being used as a weapon of mass destruction, because it's not just happening here. But these are acts of terrorism. We don't know who's doing it. But this is my testimony. According to Revelation chapter 12, verse 11 and 12, which that is in the Holy Bible, which the Holy Bible was made public law in this country. Islam. That's all I guess that's all I have to say. Islam.